This trash soy boy traveled through time just to pull a beast pet that looks exactly like a clump of cold jizz you wiped off the floor. This thing was so weak, my grandma on life support might just be able to mangle the hell out of it. Luckily for him, the system had to throw a pity code at him, granting this trash pet a godly evolution route into an insta-batty ice queen. He's now banking his whole pathetic future on that pet's glow-up, ready to do whatever it takes to take it to the god level. It all starts on a sunny day, when the professor at Junior Beast Taming School hits the students with the big news that the Beast Tamer exam is dropping in less than a week. He reminds everyone that they've all signed their first beast contracts, basically no takebacks now, and reminds them to rest up and get ready. The classroom starts buzzing, some kids low-key sweating, others flexing like they're already top-tier spirit masters. Linza, our guy, is just vibing in the back, thinking the exam doesn't matter to him. After all, he's a time traveler. A week ago, he traveled through time and space into this body. He also inherited its memories, which helped him understand the reality of this new world. Hundreds of years ago, during the catastrophe, countless beasts emerged from dimension cracks, with Diddy oil bottles ready to bend humans down. However, humanity said no bending and fought back, gradually figuring out techniques to tame these beasts. And that's how the Beastmaster profession was born, a symbol of status and rank. Becoming a Beastmaster means joining the elite class. The young people here are aiming to become powerful spirit masters, and they can contract a beast once they turn 18. Also, the strength of their soul determines the power of the creatures they can control. Stronger souls grant access to mightier beasts, setting the stage for their rise as formidable figures in society. Lindsay reflects on all of this and feels a twinge of frustration. The original owner of his body had already formed a contract with a tiny, harmless, snowball-like beast that can do nothing but act cute. It's completely non-lethal and can't even evolve. A far cry from the powerful beasts other tamers rely on to gain influence and status. Compared to the grand possibilities most beastmasters chase, he's stuck with a rather underwhelming companion. He can't help but feel a little cheated. Other time travelers in stories often gain incredible abilities or world-altering power. Yet he landed in with this tiny fart. While the world around him is full of opportunities, his own prospects seem modest at best. Lost in these thoughts, he notices a group of classmates making their way toward him. The group pokes fun at him, suggesting that worrying about becoming a Beastmaster is pointless, and that he'd be better off in a regular office job staring at spreadsheets. They even joke that his tiny snowball beast could make a perfect ice cream mascot at a mall entrance, or sell iced mineral water, which sparks a flicker of anger in him. He meets their teasing with a steady glare, refusing to let them see his frustration. Suddenly, a system flickers to life. A translucent screen appears before him, announcing that the achievement system has been successfully activated. Excitement surges through him, as this could be the legendary Goldfinger ability that travelers in other worlds always seem to get. Maybe it took time to cook because it was charging, but now it's fully online. A thrill runs through him as he realizes everything could change. The system lays out his current stats. Physique and spirit are slightly below average, basically needs more cardio and sleep levels. His only companion is the small, harmless snowball beast. No achievements, no techniques, nothing extraordinary yet. The system explains how it works. Achievements and bonus items are earned by completing tasks, and points can be spent to improve beast growth, unlock skills, and boost Beastmaster attributes. The possibilities make him giddy, as this feels like finally finding a cheat code in real life. Turning his attention to his pet little Snowball, his ice attribute rank 1 beast with 23% current growth and the skill Cold Air Breath. It also can grow through fighting or consuming energy-rich items. Our boy freezes for a moment, realizing that his tiny companion might actually evolve, a possibility he had thought was impossible. Diving deeper, the system lays out 2 evolution paths. The giant root focuses on melee combat and raw physical strength, but at the cost of ice element control. Its next form, a snow monster, basically with lifting cars for fun level strength. The queen root, on the other hand, boosts ice element affinity and spellcasting while weakening melee skills. Its next form, the ice crystal spirit, basically a walking frost-themed ultimate skill combo. The revelation hits him that little Snowball isn't as limited as he thought. It might have hidden potential that could completely change his prospects. Mundane jobs like selling ice cream or running a mini iced water stall suddenly feel laughably irrelevant. He starts imagining a future where he actually becomes a true Beastmaster. Fired up by the details, he starts planning. Achievement points will be the key to leveling up little Snowball and helping it grow into something far greater than anyone expects. The system shows a list of achievements: forming the first Beast contract, passing the Beastmaster qualification assessment, and enrolling in a Beastmaster Academy. Each one has rewards attached, though only the reward for his first pet beast is available right now. He claims it without hesitation, which is 100 achievement points, and a spirit crystal appears instantly. Excitement bubbles as he focuses on little Snowball. He channels the points into the tiny creature, and a soft glow surrounds it. The system announces a level up, and little Snowball's stats improve. Seeing the results in action fills our boy with thrill, realizing this system really works. The system notes that 77 achievement points were used, leaving 23 points remaining. Little Snowball looks a little stronger, though the flashy effects are brief, leaving him slightly underwhelmed. He can't help but chuckle. After all, for an F-class beast, it's not too surprising. The system warns that further evolution requires 20 ice element essences and a spirit jade, rare and expensive materials. Despite the challenge, he's determined to gather what's needed and help Little Snowball grow. For his plan, he knows he first needs to get the peas, make a trip to the pet shop, and handle some careful preparation. Walking toward the store, a classmate mocks him again, teasing about running an ice cream stall with his Little Snowball. He ignores the jabs, giving Little Snowball a reassuring look. Their combined efforts, he decides, might actually make a difference in tomorrow's assessment. Basically, he's hoping teamwork beats toxic commentary. The bully overhears and with a furious glare, calls Lindsay out. Our boy immediately recalls who this guy really is. Jiang Hao of the powerful Jiang family in Zhongming City. Showing a hint of confidence, Lindsay faces him, but Jiang Hao starts mocking his weak beast, insisting he's useless. Another student jumps in, laughing and suggesting he stick to selling popsicles. Just then, a girl with Big Mommy Milker's Guan steps in to warn John not to push too far. He feigns backing down but keeps insulting Lindsay indirectly, mocking the girl for associating with someone he sees as worthless and implying she'd be better off with someone more chatty. Lindsay, however, shrugs off the provocations, telling the mommy there's no need to argue. They'll see who's truly capable when the exam comes, like a pre-release demo versus the full game. With that settled, he heads to the pet store to buy the evolution materials, mentally preparing for the next day. The cost, however, hits him hard as months of savings vanish in one go. But he keeps his focus on the goal, because sometimes IRL costs more than your sanity. Back home, Guan greets him and casually invites him over for dinner, saying her mom asked her to extend the offer. He nods, planning to join later. While they chat, the girl brings up the upcoming Beastmaster assessment, the event that will set the stage for what's next. She asks if he's going to participate, and Lindsay calmly confirms he will. Her eyes brighten at the thought, giving him a small push to do his best, especially against that bully and his crew. He reassures her with quiet confidence and she smiles before leaving. At home, Lindsay thinks about the high cost of ice essences and spirit jade. Looking at Little Snowball, he realizes that growth will require even rarer resources in the future. He lays out the materials and encourages the little beast to consume them. As Snowball starts eating, he reminds it to take its time as there's no rush, no competition for these items. Out of nowhere, as Snowball crunches on the crystal like it's a snack, he starts to glow and swell. Noticing that, Lindsay takes a step back, half oh no, half this is epic, as the tiny fluff explodes with aura vibes evolving into the ice crystal spirit. Rank 2, Stage 2. Lindsay grins, checking Snowball's stats. This little guy just went from 0 to hero, flexing way above the usual rank CE pets roaming the school like NPCs. A frosty aura radiates from Snowball, chilling the air around them. The system confirms the evolution, awarding 100 achievement points and a strength crystal. He claims the rewards, feeling the strength crystal boost his physique and spirit power. Testing his new strength, Lindsay punches the air and a nearby wall, impressed by the surge of power. Meanwhile, Snowball clings to his leg like a tiny, adorable hype beast, squeaking softly. With this, he decides it's time to push forward, pouring all his achievement points into Little Snowball. A warm, radiant light envelops them both as the system confirms the upgrade. Snowball reaches rank 2, Stage 4, with a growth rate of 24%, radiating a strong, icy aura that reflects its newfound power. Lindsay smirks, certain that tomorrow's assessment will leave everyone impressed. The next day, Lindsay moves through the busy city streets alongside the melon shop. She asks if he's ready, and he replies with quiet confidence. He's not just ready, he's determined to earn the Beastmaster qualification. The girl beams, noting how different he seems compared to his old self, clearly impressed by his drive. Nearby students notice them and start whispering. Some question why someone like Lindsay is always with the Insta-baddie, a talented and admired third-year student at Pinghai No. 1 Middle School. Others mention Zhou Hong's rejected confession to her, clearly frustrated at her indifference. Lindsay listens to all of this, aware internally that Guan is his cousin, a genius admired by many, yet unfazed by others' opinions. As they walk, Guan casually wonders if he really plans to use Little Snowball in the assessment. Lindsay reassures her with a confident smile that his little thing is not to be underestimated. The girl jokes about celebrating if they succeed and playfully hugs him, making him realize the earth is definitely not flat. Before anything else happens, a tiny loli screeches at Guan, accusing her of stealing her man. She's backed up by a dude built like a gym subscription ad. Guan stays calm, hits her with the please elaborate energy, and immediately clocks the so-called boyfriend as Zhu Hong, the same guy who just got hard rejected. Our girl isn't wasting time on this side quest, so she drags Lindsay along, reminding him they've got actual plot-relevant business to handle. But then the gym bro decides it's arm day again and clamps a hand on Guan's shoulder. He demands respect like he's cashing in Twitch subs, but Guan doesn't flinch. She narrows her eyes and coldly commands him to release her. Hearing that a tense aura radiates from her, causing the dude to hesitate in tremendous fear. Fuming at getting ignored, Gym Bro swings at Guan. But before the punch even loads, Lindsay steps in with zero lag, snatching the guy's wrist mid-swing. The sudden move leaves everyone, including Guan, momentarily stunned. The girl yells at her buff brother to quit clowning around, tossing in a few extra digs about how useless Lindsay supposedly is. Gym Bro doubles down, glaring and mocking, basically asking if this guy can even protect a goldfish, let alone anyone else. However, Lindsay's expression hardens, and without hesitation, he strikes. One precise move sends the man flying through the air, crashing to the ground with a force that shakes the area. His sister screams and rushes to him, but Lindsay stands calm, adjusting his jacket as Melon Market watches, impressed from a distance. Humiliated and salty, Gym Bro charges back in, this time with blue energy crackling around his arm. Guan tenses up, watching nervously, but Lindsay stays chill, calm. Then, with a strong aura, the dude summons his beast, a spectral ghost wolf, basically his emotional support jump scare. Confident, the man taunts, pointing to his beast, claiming that the two high school students standing before him couldn't possibly compete. Guan assesses the situation. Her own pet is rank 1, stage 7, capable but far outclassed. She knows the odds aren't in her favor, yet she steels herself, prepared to fight regardless. As she readies her stance, she notices Lindsay stepping forward, taking control. Surprised, she calls out, but he glances back with calm assurance, signaling that she can trust him to handle the threat. Meanwhile, the lolly is still trash-talking from the sidelines like XQC's Twitch chat, hyping up her brother. Gym Bro points at his spectral ghost wolf, and the beast charges in with turbo mode engaged. Lindsay steps into the path of the charging beast with his hand glowing with controlled energy. However, as the beast lunges at the boy, the snowball intervenes right in time. The little beast, now evolved, unleashes its power. A wave of extreme cold spreads outward, freezing the area and halting the ghost wolf in its tracks. Both the man and his sister are taken aback by the sudden display. Guan also stares in disbelief, realizing that Snowball, the tiny beast she once underestimated, has evolved into a Chad. Snowball follows it up with an icy barrage, sending sharp icicles straight at the ghost wolf. The strike lands clean, breaking the spectral beast apart into shards that fade away. Gym Bro stops cold, staring at the fragments in disbelief, mumbling that it can't be real. The shock shifts quickly into unease as it dawns on him that he seriously underestimated Lindsay's pet. Turning to his sister, he urges a retreat, realizing they're clearly outmatched. Before they can move, Lindsay calmly blocks their path, making it clear there's no escape. He releases a massive icicle attack that spreads across the ground, leaving them stunned and powerless. Completely overwhelmed, the bro bows his head, muttering an apology and addressing Lindsay as Big Brother. Lindsay straightens him out, pointing out that the apology is directed at the wrong person. Realizing his mistake, the man turns to the mommy, offering a sincere apology and promising it won't happen again. He also vows to discipline his subordinate for the chaos. The lowly watches, wide-eyed and surprised at her brother's sudden change in demeanor. He slaps the ditty out of her for hesitating and demands she apologize quickly. With the tension easing, Guan waves off their apologies and tells them to leave immediately. They both follow the order and just bolts off. Lindsay stands next to Snowball, who now looks stronger and more composed, giving a small nod of satisfaction. Guan beams, amazed that he managed to defeat a rank 2 ghost wolf with his evolved pet. She wonders aloud if Snowball can grow even stronger in the future. Lindsay shares her excitement but reminds her that they have little time before the qualification exam. At the Beast Association building, a crowd gathers around the Origin Stone, the centerpiece of the exam. Guan comments on its impressive size, while Lindsay observes that it looks fairly ordinary at first glance. As the qualification begins, Lindsay reflects on the importance of this test, the final assessment of the year, where failing would mean losing the chance to become a Beastmaster. A representative steps forward to explain the process. Each participant is given a bronze medal that will show their rank, low, medium, high, or superior. These medals grant access to the Origin Stone realm, where candidates select their challenge level. The harder the challenge, the greater the potential rewards. Things like improved spirit, physique, faster pet growth, and even extra pet slots. The Origin Stone itself projects a display of the benefits at each level, with superior being the most rewarding. The crowd reacts with mixed feelings. Some students eager to test themselves at higher difficulties, others uneasy about their chances. A few dream of trying the superior level, while others settle on safer choices, content with just passing. One student even picks the lowest difficulty, aiming only to secure a promotion. Guan glances at Lindsay, curious about his choice. He remains quiet, weighing his options carefully. The examiner reminds everyone that their choice will shape their future growth, urging them to pick wisely. Guan hesitates, studying her medal and the displayed options. The Origin Stone reveals the selections of the candidates, Most pick low or medium. Only one chooses high, and a single daring soul presses superior. The crowd reacts with a mix of disbelief and amusement, mocking the bold choice. They laugh, assuming the person must have made a mistake or is overconfident, joking about the foolish decision. Meanwhile, Lindsay holds his medal with a calm, confident smirk. As Guan notices Lindsay's choice, her airbags inflate with the shock, worried about the risk. She reminds him that failure could mean losing a vital chance. Lindsay, however, just gives her an easy smile, assuring her he's got it under control. Around them, the crowd buzzes with whispers. Some think the superior choice must be a mistake, others call it pure arrogance. The examiner notices and inquires if Lindsay really wants to ignore the advice to reconsider. Lindsay replies calmly, confirming his decision. Hearing that the examiners take it as cockiness and suggests a bit of respect for the bold move, remarking that youth often comes with daring risks. With that, the examiner finalizes the selections and begins the assessment. The candidates gather around the origin stone, closing their eyes as energy radiates outward. The stone glows, wrapping each of them in spheres of light that mark the start of their trials. Lindsay feels the shift as he's pulled into a vast arena, the virtual realm of the origin stone. A voice explains the rules, that there is no damage in this space, so they can give their all without worry. Rolling his shoulders, Lindsay gets ready. Just then, a system screen appears before him, showing an unlocked achievement. With a small grin, he notes how convenient it is that the system works here. The display reveals 100 achievement points and a spirit crystal waiting. He claims them both, thinking they'll be useful in the challenges ahead. The system immediately reflects the boost in his stats, while the little beast's abilities also get a serious upgrade. With this, our femboy chances of winning seems to be even greater now. Just then, a heavy metal door in the arena opens, revealing a post-nut-faced monster, Flame Lizard with rank 1 and stage 7. The creature, wasting no time, fills its throat with fire and shoots it towards Lindsay. The boy stays calm, assessing it quickly that the creature isn't quite the high difficulty threat they were warned about. The fire surge speeds toward them, but he smirks and reacts, using Snowball's ice abilities. The creature gathers energy as icy spikes form around him. A moment later, he releases a concentrated blast that collides with the fire. The impact creates a wave of frost and mist that spreads across the arena. The cold freezes everything nearby and leaves the arena coated in ice, showing his strength without question. Lindsay notes casually that the icicle works far better than he anticipated. With the first stage cleared, he and Snowball move through the opening to the next level. The next opponent is already waiting, a skeletal figure looking like your unto on crack. It's a rank 1 stage 9 undead, which might still be a challenge for the boy. From above, the examiner monitors his progress on a glowing arena map, watching as Lindsay and Snowball finish the encounter effortlessly. A smirk crosses the examiner's face, noting that the elemental advantage made this victory easy, but hinting that tougher tests are still ahead. Next, they step into the third stage and a shadow stretches across the arena. A new crackhead emerges with its eyes glowing with a hypnotic light. Towering and twisted, it's a rank 2 stage 2 plant-type beast with a heavy menace presence. The examiner watches closely, noting that defeating this opponent will be a serious challenge. Even a talented pet might struggle. Back in the arena, the crackhead creature lashes out with its sharp claws, aiming at Lindsay and Snowball. Unshaken, the boy counters with a swift strike of Snowball's icicle, ready for whatever comes next. The plant creature slams its massive limbs into the ground, sending shockwaves rippling across the arena. Using the chaos, its long, twisting vines snake towards Snowball, attempting to restrain it. However, Snowball remains composed, even as the creature lunges with glowing claws, ready to land a decisive strike. The examiner watches with a faintly amused smile, remarking that Lindsay shows promise for a freshman, but his strength has limits. In the arena, Snowball activates its extreme cold domain and a wave of frost spreads across the ground, locking the plant creature's movements in place. The beast struggles against the icy grip and roars in defiance as the cold tightens around it. Watching calmly, Lindsay smirks, certain this is only the beginning of the fight. With his command, Snowball unleashes a volley of icicles that tear through the creature one after another. The arena shifts into a frozen battlefield, the plant beast trapped at its center, unable to move in the thick ice sheet. Snowball follows it up with sending another barrage of ice shards, taking the creature down with it. Finally, the battle ends. Lindsay stands calmly as Snowball finishes its attack, and with that, the third stage cleared. Elsewhere, some students are frustrated after getting knocked out early. One groans about almost beating his beast. Another just sits there with his face in his hands. A few, though, are all smiles, proud they've officially become apprentice beastmasters after taking down a rank 1 stage 6 opponent. The rest can't help comparing themselves to those who made it. Just then, they get shocked, noticing a rank 2 beast through the origin stone. The crowd goes quiet, like, wait, why is something this strong showing up already? Meanwhile, Lindsay and Snowball don't seem bothered at all. They freeze their stage 4 opponent clean and clear it without breaking a sweat. People gasp when they realize he actually picked the superior difficulty. By the time the final stage opens, Lindsay stands calm and confident, and whispers spread that he might even outshine the top high school students. Guan clears her own stage too, but instead of celebrating, she is amazed to see that her brother just passed the 4th level on superior difficulty. With that, a deafening roar shakes the arena as the last opponent appears, a massive saber-toothed lion. The sheer size and intensity of the saber-toothed lion draw gasps from the crowd. Observers whisper about its rank, 2, stage 5, and doubt that anyone, let alone a newcomer, could take it down. Guan watches with concern, sensing the danger. Lindsay, meanwhile, remains composed, eyes fixed on Snowball as it readies for the fight with a spark of excitement in his expression. Suddenly, Snowball summons a sharp icicle attack, and shards fly toward the lion at incredible speed. But the saber-tooth moves faster than expected, closing in with lightning reflexes, which catches Lindsay momentarily off guard. Snowball braces for impact, and the collision sends fear right through the arena. The lion strikes with brutal precision, landing a direct hit that shakes Snowball, who shows clear signs of fatigue from the previous stages. Seeing that, the trainer leans forward, a sly smirk crossing his face, wondering if Lindsay has any tricks left. Recognizing the imbalance of raw strength, speed, and Snowball's current state, Lindsay calls for focus. He urges Snowball to brace for the incoming attack, knowing the lion's lunge could decide the outcome in a single strike. Just then, the tiger's claws glow with lethal energy as it charges, intent on finishing the battle. Lindsay watches closely, calm but alert, waiting for the perfect moment. Snowball responds, summoning a concentrated icicle, channeling all its energy into one final precise strike. The impact fills the arena with frost and mist. As the smoke settles, it reveals the saber-toothed tiger defeated on the ground. The crowd murmurs in confusion, trying to make sense of what just happened. Some speculate it's a tie, others stare at the lion's frozen form, realizing defeat is imminent. To all their shock, the lions get up again, now roaring with more anger and rage. Snowball, however, remains steady, eyes glowing as it channels power into another decisive strike. Ice spreads rapidly across the battlefield, encasing the lion and slowing its movements. Despite its natural resistance to cold, the lion begins to falter, showing cracks in its defense. Lindsay observes carefully, noting that the creature's adaptations make it unusually resilient, yet confident in Snowball's ability to handle it. At that moment, a system notification pops up. Lindsay sees a new achievement unlocked, 100 achievement points and a set of new ice-based skills. He studies the panel, intrigued by the options: a control-based ice lock, a defensive ice barrier, and an area of effect ice spike attack. Each skill has unique requirements and growth potential, giving Lindsay new ways to strategize as the battle continues. Lindsay notices he can equip far more skills than he anticipated. Most pets usually have only 2 basic abilities, but Snowball has options. Thinking through the battle, the boy decides a strong single-target control skill will make the biggest difference. He unlocks the Arctic Chains control skill, spending 50 achievement points as the system confirms the upgrade. Just as he is busy with it, the saber-toothed lion lunges, claws aimed straight at Lindsay and Snowball. The little fellow, however, stands firm, gathering energy as a bright light spreads across the arena. The system announces that Snowball has leveled up to rank 2, stage 7, boosting its growth rate to 54%. Spectators from afar react with a mix of awe and confusion. Some whisper about the sudden upgrade, others debate whether the feat is fair, and a few speculate about the rare resources involved. Unfazed, Lindsay, with his calm demeanor, gestures for the lion to continue the attack. As the saber-tooth rushes forward, Snowball activates its Arctic Chains control. With this, frosty chains erupt from the ground, wrapping around the lion and freezing it mid-charge. The beast thrashes against the restraints, growling in frustration. Lindsay takes the opportunity to summon shards of ice from above, raining them down with precision. The icy spikes smash into the lion's defenses, forcing a final roar before it collapses onto the frozen battlefield. The crowd stares, shocked at Snowball's display. Whispers ripple through the arena, questioning how a rank 2 pet could wield 3 distinct skills in one battle. The examiner also raises an eyebrow, clearly impressed despite initial disbelief. Meanwhile, back at the arena, the lion tries to stand up, but despite trying, drops on the ground defeated. Lindsay stands beside his pet, calm and collected, as the system announces the completion of the superior difficulty challenge. Seeing that, Mommy cheers up, jumping in excitement at his victory. While others in the audience struggle to accept the outcome, some suspect trickery, others debate his methods, but even skeptics can't deny the display of raw skill. The examiner, composed and observant, nods with quiet respect, noting that Lindsay's performance is among the most impressive he has ever seen in a young tamer's trial. The system updates Lindsay's stats to reflect his success. Snowball also is now rank 3, stage 1, with an 84% growth rate and mastery of 3 potent abilities. Just then, another notification window appears, revealing that he can now contract another pet. This really excites Lindsay, but soon he gets thrown out of the trail, straight in front of the other students. Seeing him, they start gooning over how his beast is pretty cool, but the most happy about it is the milk shop. Lindsay's caught off guard at first, but ends up throwing a smile anyway. Then the examiner pulls up, looking all official, and even apologizes to him, a move so rare that the surrounding students are low-key shook. Staying chill, Lindsay listens as the dude drops an absolute banger of an offer, a spot in the Beastmaster Association with perks way above even the top grads. Guan is hyped and tells him this is once-in-a-lifetime stuff, but Lindsay, being built different, thinks it through. He knows the perks sound clutch, but the hidden price tag is probably crazy, so he straight up says nah, he'll pick his own lane after graduation. The examiner and the whole squad freeze for a second, stunned. Another student tries to shoot his shot and asks for the deal instead, but the examiner just blanks him and stays locked on Lindsay. Admitting the kid's growth is wild, the examiner drops his contact and dips, introducing himself as He Zhenwen. After that, Lindsay stands tall with Mommy at his side, both strolling through the courtyard like it's nothing. Out of nowhere, two girls roll up, classmates from next door, and instantly start fangirling. They ask Guan for his info, shove a phone into his hand, and beg to add him. One of them congratulates him, clearly trying to shoot her shot. Lindsay just keeps it casual, saying they've got stuff to do, while Guan's already crossing her arms looking mad salty. The girl isn't giving up though, she literally chases after them, still asking to get added. Lindsay doesn't even look back and just dips, leaving Guan fuming. Not long after, his phone buzzes with a summons to the office, so he heads out. Inside, he peeks in and checks if he's in the right place. A strong, independent woman is there, leaning back in her chair like a boss, casually congratulating him for crushing the trial. He hesitates, but she suddenly yanks him into a hug, pressing her headlights pretty hard. He instantly remembers the times she used to hand out brutal punishments, so the whole vibe throws him off. She quickly gets serious again, pulls out a book, and reveals she's got something important for him. Lindsay takes it and reads the title. Turns out, it's all about basic spirit techniques, essential moves for any Beastmaster. She suggests him to start early, since this training is mandatory. The book breaks it down. Spirit techniques are the main combat method outside of beasts, letting a master throw hands solo for both offense and defense. Lindsay, eager to learn, thanks his teacher and rushes off to practice. She reminds him he may return if he has questions. Later, he sits on his bed, carefully reading the book. He studies the section on Spirit Guardian, which consumes spirit power to form a barrier that protects the entire body from damage. Reflecting, he understands that learning the basics early will give him an advantage at the Beastmaster Academy and free his focus for advanced training. Determined, he begins to meditate, channeling his energy as a blue aura forms around him. His eyes glow as he activates Spirit Shield, forming a protective barrier around his body. The shield stabilizes and radiates defensive energy, showing immediate results from his training. Lindsay observes the shield and realizes he has already grasped the basics. While most require days or months to learn soul arts, he masters it in 10 minutes. Sitting within the shield, he notices a system prompt offering to upgrade Spirit Guardian for 50 achievement points from his total of 350. He confirms that the system can enhance spirit techniques and decides survival skills should be prioritized. Without hesitation, he selects the option and advances it to the third stage. Just then, a stronger and larger barrier forms, capable of covering multiple people at once. Checking his spirit power, he finds that activation consumes only a small amount, allowing repeated use without concern. Recalling the Spirit Stone from his rewards, he decides to use it. Power surges through him as his spirit power and spirit level rise, greatly increasing his strength. Realizing defense alone would waste his potential, he considers learning new skills. Opening a skill book, he finds Spirit Arrow, which focuses energy at the fingertips and fires it as a projectile, and Spirit Impact, which condenses energy into a close-range strike. He considers learning both to expand his options. As the city chills out for the night, our boy Lindsay is locked in meditation, aura flickering around him like he's loading up some DLC. His eyes snap open, glowing gold, and he fires off a Spirit Arrow at insane speed. The shot goes clean, dead accurate, but the damage is kinda mid. He runs it back a few more times, confirms it's reliable, and locks it in as his long-range option. Not stopping there, he switches to Spirit Impact. Golden energy stacks on his fist, and when he swings, shockwaves yeet across the room. He throws another punch, dumping 30 soul power in one go, and the wall just straight up shatters. The dude is cooking with real destructive power now. The system even drops a notification flexing that he's got 3 soul techniques mastered, handing him a full soul recovery potion as a reward. He stashes it for later, big brain move. Feeling good, he cashes 100 achievement points to level up Spirit Arrow and Spirit Impact to stage 2, keeping the leftovers for emergencies. Next on the grind list now is cash for a second pet beast. Next day, he rolls into the mission center where quests get posted like a job board. Missions range from ghost scorpions near a village to mutant beetles in a canyon, payouts hitting up to 40,000. He doesn't overthink it, just grabs the beetle mission since it's the biggest bag. But then the system hits him with the "Yap, you're a newbie, so here's 3 teammates. Notice, and the reward is auto-split." Salty about it, he vents by smacking the button, convinced he could solo this run. A map pops up, marking Death Toll Canyon with a 2 p.m. deadline. He shows up at the canyon where the squad's already waiting. The place is rugged with flags planted around. Zhang Lei, green-haired and low-tier, immediately clowns him for being late and questions if he even graduated. Zhao Mingshan, another noob, scowls and complains about being stuck with a rookie. Before it turns toxic, Wang, the only girl in the squad, steps in with a smile and smooths things over. She suggests Lindsay to just follow her lead, and he drops a casual smile back, admitting he hasn't graduated yet and will lean on them. Hearing that, Mingshan groans, calling out Wang for gooning again, then warns the squad that this mission isn't lightweight and they need to stay sharp. The girl, however, brushes it off with zero care. With that, Mingshan crowns himself temporary leader, laying down that Lindsay better follow orders or watch his cut shrink. Lindsay stays chill, throwing out a thumbs up and assures that he'll work hard. Watching the squad, he clocks that they aren't even real qualified beastmasters, just self-taught fighters with bare-bones summoning. Mingshan takes his reply as him knowing his place and eases up. With that, the team moves into the canyon. The terrain becomes rough, and the path ahead is dark. At the entrance of a cavern, an eerie glow shines from within as the sound of skittering echoes from the depths. Mutant beetles emerge from the shadows with their glowing eyes, while a larger beetle is also among them. As the swarm advances, Mingshan suggests collapsing the cave entrance to trap the insects. He summons his wild rhino, a rank 1 stage 5 beast, to lead the charge. Lei also summons his windcutter mantis, a rank 1 stage 6 insect beast. The girl follows, summoning her fear wasp, a rank 1 stage 5 insect beast, and reminds Lindsay to stay behind her. With their beast deployed, the battle begins. The group cautiously enters a tunnel led by the group leader. Buzzing echoes through the cavern as insect creatures swarm ahead. Mingshan observes from a distance and orders an attack. Hearing the order, Lei summons his windcutter mantis, which dashes ahead and slices through the swarm with glowing blades. The girl also commands her venomous wasps, directing them into the fray as it releases a barrage of stingers. The windcutter mantis continues to slice through the enemies. Soon, the battlefield is littered with defeated beetles. Seeing that, Lei smirks and tells Lindsay how well they work together. The girl also is excited, brushing off the idea of a reward and calling it a learning experience. She instructs the others to stay behind her and focus on their safety. Before they can relax, the insect swarm begins moving again, crawling back to their feet. Lindsay observes that their attacks have little effect and that the true threat has not yet appeared. Just then, a loud screech echoes as another wave of insects rushes toward them. Wang also tenses, sensing something new. Dark energy spreads across the battlefield and the swarm mutates while the ground trembles as more insects charge forward. Lei, seeing that, panics, realizing that the beetles just muted in front of them, while Lindsay knows it might mean that the Beetle King is nearby. As they are processing it, the wild rhino tries to go full tank mode through the swarm, but the beetles bite back and leave it bleeding. The mantis and the fear wasp get absolutely dogpiled, pinned down with zero chance to move. Seeing that, Mingshan panics and calls his rhino back, while Lei also scrambles to recall his own pet. Lindsay explains the L. These beetles are blasting sound waves that paralyze beasts on the spot. Hearing that, the girl freezes up, realizing her fear wasp is basically defenseless. Lei also loses it, grabs Lindsay by the collar, and blames him for not warning them. Our boy just claps back, saying the real issue is surviving. Right then, the ground rumbles and an even bigger swarm erupts. Mingshan sees the numbers, curses the mission, and straight up yeets himself ahead, ditching the squad while the swarm chases him down. An explosion blasts behind him and he stumbles, realizing something even nastier is incoming. As the bugs close in, Lindsay steps forward and pops off a glowing barrier around the squad, blocking the attack. Lei stares like he just realized his friend is a furry, recognizing it as spirit art, something only taught at the academy, and starts questioning how Lindsay can even use it. Our guy brushes him off, orders them to stay back, and summons his ice crystal spirit. Everyone freezes, jaw dropped, because they've never seen a beast like that. While they're still posing for Gluck Gluck 3000, Lindsay is already analyzing the swarm. These beetles are only rank 1 stage 7, which is tough in numbers but manageable. The problem is the squad has no AoE damage. Lindsay's got that covered though, since his ice crystal spirit is rank 3 with wide-range nukes. He raises his hand and the beast drops its extreme cold domain. A wave of ice spreads across the field, locking the swarm in an icy graveyard. He looks back at the squad and suggests they can still recover their beasts if they're willing to throw away their rewards. The rest hesitate, but the fussy Mingshan instantly folds, surrendering everything just to get his pets back. Before things settle, Lei steps up angry, accusing Lindsay of acting like the legendary student from the impossible trial. The boy, hearing that, stays calm and basically confirms that's exactly who he is. The girl processes everything and admits her suspicions were right, begging him to save their beasts. The femboy, still salty, demands the release now. Before he can run his mouth further, Mingshan knocks him down, saying his arrogance is trash and Lindsay's power is undeniable. Meanwhile, the frozen beasts are still stuck, but the ice now seems to be melting a little. Seeing that, Lindsay warns them that time is running out before the freeze goes too far. The girl notices the beasts aren't defeated, just restrained, but the pressure is on. Standing over the frozen field with Snowball at his side, Lindsay senses something ominous moving underground. Lair, still on the floor, eyes him suspiciously, wondering if he'll actually dive in. Without hesitation, Lindsay orders them to hurry and then yeets himself straight into the depths with Snowball. They drop into a massive underground cavern where darkness stretches forever. Thanks to his enhanced physique, Lindsay sees clearly. As he moves forward, a new swarm of glowing-eyed creatures crawls out of the shadows, shaking the cavern with their numbers. They rush him with insane speed, but Lindsay instantly throws up another barrier with Snowball inside. The beasts slam forward, but he claps back with a soul impact that smashes them straight to the ground. One by one, the monsters fall under Lindsay's attacks, but the battle is far from over. Another swarm of glowing-eyed creatures rushes toward him with their overwhelming numbers. He activates an ice barrier to block their assault, but as more creatures crash against it, cracks begin to form, and maintaining it quickly drains his energy. Realizing he needs another approach, Lindsay recalls his remaining options. A system prompt reveals two abilities, Ice Shield and Frost Nova. With 150 achievement points left, he unlocks them for Snowball. Snowball radiates icy energy as her evolution grants her both spells. Ice Shield allows her to move freely without relying on Lindsay's protection, while Frost Nova provides a wide-range attack ideal for clearing the swarm. Lindsay notes that for maximum impact, Frost Nova requires surrounding ice energy, making it best combined with Extreme Cold Domain. At his command, Snowball activates Frost Nova. Shards of ice erupt outward, freezing the charging creatures mid-air before shattering them into fragments. Inside the barrier, our boy floods the whole zone with ice energy, while Snowball charges up the final move. Fully loaded, she drops a Frost Nova at max power, blasting the battlefield with a frozen nuke. A glowing crystal sparks at her fingertips before she lets it rip, freezing the swarm solid and shattering them into shards. The system instantly pings, revealing that 50 armored bugs are deleted. Lindsay quickly checks the stats and sees Snowball has leveled up to Stage 1, Tier 3, sitting at 89% growth. One more push and she's evolving into Snow Maiden. He clocks that grinding these bugs is actually juicing her progress, making this cavern basically a perfect training lobby. But before he makes another move, an eerie sound echoes from deeper inside, and more beetles roll out in formation, moving way more coordinated than before. The king of the swarm is definitely pulling up. Meanwhile, outside the cave, the group are still struggling after their L. Wang, barely catching her breath, suggests that they need to report the mission's danger right away or Lindsay's done for. However, Lindsay shrugs it off, reminding if Lindsay went deeper, that's his own risk. Before he can finish, a new player enters the map. Luoda, a bronze-ranked beastmaster, strolls in with a confident smirk after surveying the battlefield. Noticing him, Mingshan confirms that the target point is ahead but also warns about the danger. However, the group freezes, noticing the guy's badge, realizing they are dealing with an elite. The badges speak for themselves. Bronze and silver are already high, but gold marks the top 3% worldwide. Luoda introduces himself as bronze-ranked, sent by the association after the mission's difficulty spiked. The girl lights up with relief, convinced they've got it in the bag now, and quickly asks to join. Luoda smirks, teases her eagerness with his harassment flirting, but lets her follow. He turns to Mingshan and Lei, dismissing them as unqualified. Both the guys also panic and deny wanting to tag along. Back inside the icy cavern, the system dings again as Lindsay unlocks the Beast Slayer achievement, dropping 300 points and a burst seed card that can boost a beast rank by 1 for 60 seconds. He checks the screen, claims the loot, and sees Snowball pushed up to Stage 3, Rank 3, with 94% growth. He's satisfied, knowing she's right at the edge of her next evolution. But the vibe shifts as rocks shift deep in the cave. A sharp claw bursts through the ground, shaking the whole place, and with that, a massive armored insect crawls with glowing green eyes locked on its prey. Lindsay recognizes it immediately as a death-toll striker, way bigger than the reports suggested. He remembers the mission was flagged only a week ago, meaning this beast just recently evolved. It screeches, and the system drops its status, Insect type, Rank 4, Stage 1. Seeing it, Lindsay starts wondering that if he retreats now, he leaves empty-handed, which is not an option. He decides to take a risk, planning to prolong the fight strategically. Before he can act, a massive golem crashes down from above, radiating power. The impact sends debris flying and shakes the cave with overwhelming force. A rock golem charges into the battlefield, knocking aside smaller creatures as it lands heavily. It's the Luoda summon who also follows behind with Wang in his arms. As soon as she notices Lindsay, she rushes over, relieved to see him unharmed. Our boy, however, is surprised that they returned and met an unfamiliar face among them. Luoda steps forward, smirking, and warns Lindsay to stand back, declaring that the place is too dangerous. He then reveals the true identity of the enemy, the Death Toll Beetle, a feared creature of legend. It is a rare Rank 4 beast capable of commanding entire swarms, and Luoda immediately recognizes its significance. The guy instantly blocks Lindsay, calling dibs on the boss and flexing that this fight belongs to him. But before the trash talk can cook further, the Insect King yeets forward with insane speed, throwing out a heavy opener. Luoda stands tall with his rock golem at his side, mocking the bug's audacity as the claws come flying, only for his golem to tank the strike head-on. Out of nowhere, Arctic chains clap onto the Insect King, locking it down. Lindsay is just chilling with Snowball, calm as ever. With this, Lindsay introduces himself as Apprentice Beastmaster. Then suddenly the guy remembers the name, Yap. This is the dude who cleared an advanced trial. Even so, Luoda brags about his years of experience and training, while Lindsay drops a cool line about catching up eventually, leaving the guy stunned at the confidence. Before the vibe settles, Wang calls out danger and the Insect King is charging, slicing the air with those monster claws. Annoyed, Luoda suggests our boy to watch and learn, claiming this is the gap. He activates his spirit technique and the rock golem powers up hard. Stone fragments merge, fists ignite in flames, and the beast evolves into rank 4 stage 2. Lindsay watches, surprised at how much juice Luoda's spirit technique pumps into his pet. The fiery golem launches in, fists crashing down with shockwave-level impact. Flames scatter as the Insect King gets floored, struggling to move. Luoda smirks again, flexing that mastering this type of buff art is rare, doubling down on the gap talk. But before our boy can clap back, the Insect King's eyes light blood red, its body juicing up with dangerous frenzy energy. Luoda straight up admits this is a tough opponent. From above, Lindsay and Snowball tag team with an icicle spear and spirit impact, carving clean damage into the raging king. The beast rushes again with chaos energy dripping off it, but Snowball instantly pulls frost chains to pin it down. The bug screeches, cracks the chains, then shatters them in a violent pulse. Luoda also stares as his rock beast starts folding under pressure. Realizing momentum is slipping, the Insect King claps back with a heavy counter, but the rock golem barely blocks, shaking the whole battlefield and blasting smoke everywhere. Wang panics, begging the squad to retreat or risk dying here. Luoda hard rejects, yelling that this thing has to be beaten no matter what. But before he can move, Lindsay steps forward and suggests everyone else to dip, declaring he'll solo the fight. Luoda, however, looks dumbfounded, shocked that this dude wants to keep going after seeing his strongest beast struggle. He rants about the insane power gap from enhancement arts, demanding to know what he's cooking. Our boy doesn't bother with words. He just slaps an explosive seed card, and suddenly he and Snowball are wrapped in a golden aura as their energy spikes to max. Luoda stares in disbelief, realizing this dude actually has enhancement tech too. Snowball lets loose an overcharged ice blast, energy exploding outward in a flex so wild that even Luoda and the girl can't process what they're seeing. The burst seed card kicks Lindsay straight up to rank 4, stage 3, and this dude clocks that it only lasts a minute, but with his spirit hacks that's plenty. The Beetle Insect King comes flying in, and our boy charges with Snowball like it's go time. Snowball flicks her hand and drops frozen chains, layering the bug in ice like she's speedrunning crowd control. Lindsay peeps that her glow-up made her skills way stronger, but he knows the effect is short-lived. They sync up, throwing a tag-team banger, golden fists from him and freezing blasts from her, smacking the Insect King so hard that its armor starts cracking like cheap glass. With the timer running out, Lindsay swings a final punch, busting through the Insect King's defenses. Luoda watches all this in pure shock, realizing this boy is literally burning his life force to keep the spirit power cooking, and yells at him to chill, but Lindsay just checks his stats like it's casual, saying only half his juice is gone. Luoda stares in full disbelief mode, while Wang starts doubting if this man might actually be built to solo the Insect King. The boss bug roars one last time, buffing itself up for a desperate stand. Snowball instantly claps back, dropping Frost Nova like an ultimate. An absolute ice bomb slams the beast, shards tearing through its body, and the whole arena shakes. Wang stumbles to dodge, and the Insect King ends up frozen solid, barely alive and looking cooked. Luoda looks away, remembering the old lore about the 5 elemental beasts who once went full world war and supposedly vanished, though their vibe still feels alive in his mind. Meanwhile, Lindsay sees his timer dip to 30 seconds and gears up for the kill shot. Snowball stacks massive ice energy, filling the air with shards. The Death Toll King tries to dip through the tunnels, but Lindsay and Snowball chase it down from above. Their combo slams into the bug in a burst of blue and orange light, and the king drops, steaming. The system pings, confirming the first boss kill. Lindsay officially takes out the Death Toll Insect King. Seeing that, Wang rushes in cheering, while Luoda looks salty that the spotlight isn't on him. Meanwhile, Snowball, doing all the heavy lifting, shrinks back down, stumbling as her buff fades, and Lindsay pats her head, giving props. Another system alert drops. Snowball, now logged as Ice Crystal Spirit, hits stage 5 rank 3, maxing her growth to 100%. Evolution is unlocked, but the grind needs 10 advanced ice crystals. Lindsay lets her rest in his lap before thinking about the next move. The system instantly comes clutch, handing over the boss reward, points, a revival potion, and exactly 10 advanced ice crystals. Lindsay notes how clean the system is at delivering the goods. As he holds Snowball, Luoda suddenly drops a hand on his shoulder, pointing at the fallen boss and casually suggesting he should take the credit. The girl, however, instantly objects, saying Lindsay clearly did the work. But Luoda ignores her and throws out an offer of 100,000 for the kill credit. Lindsay thinks it over, knowing the mission report will affect his association ranking. But the bag comes first, and 100 bands could buy a stronger pet. Luoda doubles down, saying it's half a year's savings, way more than the mission reward, and even throws in a big favor. Lindsay accepts, saying favors don't come with a price tag. Luoda transfers the cash on the spot, but before the moment settles, a sudden screech echoes. As they look up, they notice a massive bird-like beast out of the cave, alongside the trainer. Luoda greets him respectfully as Sir He, who pulls up rocking a silver badge. The girl instantly recognizes the dude as a silver-tier beast tamer. The trainer greets the squad calmly, pointing out he's already crossed paths with Lindsay before. Despite that, our boy keeps it casual, not showing any nerves, while Luoda is floored that this dude personally knows a silver-rank powerhouse. Sir He calls Luoda by name, surveys the scene, and notes the Death-Tall Insect King is down, so the mission looks wrapped. Luoda quickly reports that he completed the mission with no casualties. Sir He inspects the corpse, confirming the beast was at least rank 4, while Snowball is still only rank 2. The trainer first thinks Lindsay and Luoda double-team the kill, then flips serious and admits the association cooked the mission label, calling it basic when it was actually intermediate. That blunder basically yeeted the whole squad into danger, so he apologizes and stresses that trust in beast tamers is still a big deal. Lindsay stays calm, brushes it off, and even throws Luoda some props for clutching up. Luoda scratches his head like he's shy, but bro is clearly vibing with the praise, while the girl watches from the side, impressed at how smooth the boy handles it. The trainer then drops the payout of 100 Gs on the spot as compensation, while keeping the Death Toll's body for research. Luoda is stunned, realizing Lindsay just bagged a fat win. Our boy accepts without fuss, knowing the cash is both reward and damage control. The trainer studies him, notices he still rolls with only one pet, and figures the money will help. He transfers the funds, suggests him to spend it smart, and then promises future backup before dipping out with the corpse. Lindsay watches him leave in quiet surprise. Later, the squad steps out of the cave. Luoda, still hyped, teases that Lindsay stacked 200 Gs in a single day. Lindsay grins and reminds him that he also scored a solid favor. Luoda laughs it off, promising they'll run into each other again. The girl smiles, thinking the grind was worth it since she got to meet 2 cracked powerhouses in one day. She vows to train harder and hopes to squad with Lindsay again once she levels up. Lindsay encourages her, saying the chance will come. Back in the city, Lindsay starts crunching numbers and realizes that with this new budget, a B-rank beast might finally be on the table. He rolls into a pet shop where an assistant greets him and asks his business. He reveals that he's buying a beast, so she leads him upstairs to the showcase lined with glass cases. She explains that every option is on display, and he can browse at will. Lindsay checks the lineup, noting that in a standard shop like this, B-rank is the cap. Among them, a skeletal beast and a mushroom type stand out, both sitting at B-rank with basic evolutions. Just beside these, he also spots this tiny fiery spirit beast just chilling. Instantly, his radar goes off that this thing's got a hidden evolution route. Still, he can tell it's nowhere near Snowball's level because that icy queen is in a whole different league. The shop assistant, seeing the sharp read, starts hyping him up for catching the rare flame spirit. She explains it's a B-rank pet, top tier in its class, rocking a 160k price tag. Lindsay's eyes widen a bit at the number, but she tries to sell it harder, saying the cost covers its evolution materials too. Lindsay keeps it polite, claiming he'll keep browsing, and dips to the next display. As he walks, he starts thinking back that Snowball used to be written off as straight F-rank trash with no potential. Now she's a menace, proving that those so-called rankings are just people's opinions, not facts. Right then, his system suddenly lights up, pinging a nearby hidden royal-tier beast with a secret evolution route. Lindsay keeps browsing when he spots this little rock-type creature that looks way too familiar. He steps closer and checks the tag. It's a basic rock pet with a standard evolution into a bulky rock tank. Solid stats, strength, defense, elemental resist, the usual package, but then he spots the real detail, a hidden evolution path leading to something called the Rock God, a form that taps into ancient bloodlines and literally controls the earth. He digs through the info and notes the requirements: full growth, elemental essence, and a rare powder, clear hints of its busted potential. That's when it hits him. He's seen this species before. It's the same type Luoda giant rock beast evolved from, except that one took the boring route. This version, however, is cooking up a divine-level evolution the other owner probably never even knew existed. He mentally compares the two. The ice spirit's a glass cannon which is all burst damage and control, perfect for a mage build. This rock beast, on the other hand, is a straight warrior material, tank stats, raw power, full endurance. The assistant, cheerful as ever, starts pitching it like a pro, saying the little guy's popular, easy to raise, decent in fights, and super affordable. Lindsay doesn't even hesitate and insta-buys it. He also lists off a bunch of extra evolution materials, throwing the assistant for a loop. She's confused, pointing out those are high-grade items that a rock beast can't even use. She asks if he's seriously going to burn that much money on it. Lindsay just laughs it off, claiming the materials are for someone else, total cap, and moves on. He checks his balance afterward, and yeah, it hurts as it's only 20k left. The materials cost more than the pet itself. The assistant finalizes the deal, hands him the sealing orb, and the rock beast gets locked inside, glowing bright as their contract kicks in. A notification pops up as Lindsay officially signs his second pet, and just bagged plus 300 achievement points. Later that evening, our boy sets up for training. He sits cross-legged in his room and starts prepping for the summoning. It's grind time. The little rock beast pops out in a flash of blue light, sitting at a sad 12% growth. Our boy checks his stats and notices 800 achievement points in the bank, and instantly knows he's got to max this thing to 100% before anything spicy happens. He drops 220 points like it's nothing, and the rock beast hits stage 2 in one shot. Lindsay sits back watching the tiny dude wobble around. It looks way too cute for something packing a hidden god-tier evolution path. He then tells it to chow down on the evolution materials he prepped. The beast doesn't hesitate as it rushes forward and munches on one item instantly, but when Lindsay points to the second, the little menace straight up refuses, shaking its head like, hell nah. Lindsay's face says it all, and he tries reasoning with it, even scolding it about how expensive that stuff was. The rock beast doesn't care. It starts throwing a full-on tantrum, stomping, puffing, acting like Bowel. Lindsay just stares, speechless, wondering how he ended up parenting a literal drama pebble. Then, out of nowhere, Snowball materializes with her usual cold and silent look. She's back and fully recovered, and she's not in the mood. Before anyone can blink, the rock beast goes feral and yeets itself straight at her at full speed. It slams headfirst into Snowball with a huge impact, but she doesn't even flinch and hits it with her ice blade. The rock beast tumbles back, looking defeated, and then immediately starts bawling its eyes out in full emotional damage mode. Snowball crosses her arms, giving the beast that cold, try-me-again stare. The pressure alone makes the little guy shake like a washing machine, puffing out smoke from sheer panic. Suddenly, a system alert pops, revealing that Snowball's growth rate maxes out, signaling a huge breakthrough. Right then, Lindsay's whole vibe shifts. The aura surges out violently, shaking the room. When the energy fades, there's no pebble anymore. Standing in its place is a full-blown armored juggernaut made of dark stone. The system confirms that Rock Beast has evolved to Stage 9, Rank 2. It also unlocks new skills, Earth Spikes, Stone Bullet, and Crushing Impact. Lindsay casually notes that no one could have predicted this wild transformation. The evolved Rock Beast glares up at him with red eyes glowing under its stone helmet. Lindsay senses something's off, and before he can move, the ground explodes beneath him. Rock Beast launches a massive ground spike attack straight his way. Snowball doesn't hesitate. She zips forward through the air, intercepting the strike before it hits. Rock Beast follows up with a brutal punch, trying to obliterate everything. Snowball meets it head-on, unleashing a wave of frost and mist that fills the room. As the mist settles, Snowball emerges from the haze with a solid block of ice raised as a shield, standing firm, calm, and unshaken. Rock Beast is straight up fuming right now, glaring at Snowball like it wants round 2. Our boy looks kinda startled, because the whole room's just getting flooded with that I'm about to go feral energy. Then, out of nowhere, the system alert pops up saying Snowball's ready to evolve. Seeing that, dude steps up all confident, ready to flex his control, and drops 10 high-tier ice mats like it's nothing. The room lights up as Snowball starts glowing, producing snowy mist all around. Meanwhile, the Rock Beast tries to brace against the powerful surge of erupting from the evolution. Snowball's successful evolution is confirmed by the system. Out of the mist, her new form is revealed. She is now taller, more elegant, and literally radiating frosty boss energy. Another panel displays her new move list, featuring an upgraded Ice Blade, Reflect Shields, and a Blizzard-level Storm skill. Essentially, she has become incredibly powerful. Lindsay watches, looking genuinely hyped. Snowball stands there exuding a distinct "don't mess with me" aura, causing Rock Beast's entire demeanor to shift from furious to straight-up nervous. Suddenly, the ground explodes as ice spikes shoot up, catching the poor creature completely off guard. Lindsay gives the command like a seasoned leader, and Snowball begins raining massive icicles from the sky. Rock Beast just stands there, eyes wide, with no time left to dodge. In the next instant, it is completely overwhelmed and down hard on the ground. Meanwhile, Snowball remains still, literally chilling amid the destruction. Lindsay walks up to the defeated beast and sternly reminds it about the condition of their deal, which was unwavering loyalty only, and absolutely no more drama. He then drops a final warning that if it messes up again, it's done for. Rock Beast starts trembling, with icicles still ominously hanging over its head like a final divine judgment. It instantly folds, bowing its head in complete defeat. However, Lindsay isn't interested in a fake apology. He doubles down, saying the next time there will be absolutely no mercy. The little creature panics and bows again, fearing for his life. Just then, the door opens, and the angry neighbor arc instantly begins. A buff guy in a tank top is absolutely fuming, yelling about how Lindsay completely demolished his house in the middle of the night. His wall was wrecked, and he is demanding $300,000 for repairs and emotional damage. Lindsay stands there with an awkward, slightly strained smile, looking like he's thinking, bro, seriously? The neighbor isn't backing down at all, ranting about deadlines and making threats, until Rock Beast silently rolls up behind him. The man doesn't even notice the creature until the beast raises its glowing fist, fully prepared to launch the man into the next week. But Lindsay intervenes immediately, calling the action off right before impact. The neighbor freezes mid-sentence, instantly sweating profusely. He slowly turns around, sees the giant stone monster glaring down at him with those fierce red glowing eyes, and instantly changes his tune. He starts backpedaling rapidly, insisting that he doesn't need any payment at all. Lindsay just smiles slightly as that was easier than expected. Later that night, Lindsay, Snowball, and Rock Beast are peacefully asleep after a long day of hard work. Morning light begins to fill the city, and everything is calm, at least for now. Inside the room, Snowball is seriously enjoying herself, blasting some Super Idol from her phone. The sudden beat drop scares the life out of Lindsay, who shoots upright like he was just jump scared. Then his phone starts ringing. It's Guan, reminding him not to forget the entrance exam for Zhongning Beast Tamer Academy again. Our boy freezes, realizing he forgot, and quickly scrambles to meet Guan at the school gate. At the academy entrance, the place is packed with everyone gathering near the bus. Lindsay finally arrives, and the crowd immediately starts murmuring. From across the way, Guan is waving like crazy, calling him over with her typical big sibling energy. However, a few students up front are clearly annoyed. They are mad he showed up late for such an important event. One student starts openly mocking him, saying Lindsay is overhyping himself as usual. Our boy just strolls past, completely unbothered. However, that peace doesn't last, though, as their teacher shows up and slaps the living ditty out of him for being late. Lindsay just laughs it off, trying to act casual and claiming he has been tired lately. The teacher is not buying his excuse, however. She grills him intensely about whether he has been putting in real effort on his soul arts. Guan watches all of this from a distance, looking a bit thrown off by the way the teacher is talking to Lindsay. The teacher then gathers everyone, giving them an official motivational pep talk. She informs the squad that the top students from Pinghai Middle School are serious contenders, and this entrance test will be a major challenge for them. However, she hypes them up, urging them to bring home some good news, and the students all cheer in perfect synchrony. When the noise finally dies down, the teacher sneaks a look at Lindsay, giving him that silent look of belief in him. The crew then quickly hops on the bus, and their journey kicks off along the winding mountain roads. On board the bus, Guan starts chatting, side-eyeing Lindsay as she questions him about ghosting her. He admits he has been busy lately and completely forgot, trying to play it off with an easy laugh. Guan just smiles, telling him not to stress about it, and proudly reveals that her fierce magic bird has finally evolved. Lindsay is genuinely surprised and gives her props, saying that with the new upgrade, she is basically set for the entrance test. As the bus rolls into Jiangning City, the skyline is immediately impressive. Skyscrapers are everywhere. Guan is glued to the window, completely in awe, just soaking it all in. But our boy is forced to stare at the wrong skyscrapers, making the whole thing awkward. Finally, the bus pulls up to the Jiangning Imperial Academy, and everyone's jaws immediately drop. The place looks like a palace. It features massive gates, high-spraying fountains, and an unmistakable rich kid luxury aesthetic. The students are thoroughly hyped, calling the facility insane and majestic. As Lindsay walks forward, someone calmly tells him to move aside as if it is no big deal. Then a squad rolls up, a whole lineup of 17 students led by a cool, collected dude, Le Peng. Moments later, another team pulls through, and this one clearly has big main character rival school energy. 21 students deep, led by a buff guy, Tanyang. Over on Lindsay's side, one of the pink-haired girls gets openly nervous and reminds Guan that as the class leader, she absolutely cannot afford to take a loss here. Lindsay just gives her the classic thumbs up, while Guan steps forward with full confidence and leads her squad from Pinghai No 1 Middle to officially register their 2 members. Nearby, a student from another school immediately starts talking trash, calling them country bumpkins. A quick map pop-up basically confirms the bias. Pinghai is kind of out in the sticks compared to the flashy city regions like Kengjia and Qinping, so the shade being thrown is pretty justified. Out of nowhere, one overly hyped teacher jumps down from a giant statue and introduces himself as Teacher Qin. He the supervisor for this round of the entrance exams. He congratulates everyone for passing the early trial but instantly drops the "don't get comfortable" speech. According to him, this exam is built differently. It is way tougher than any beast taming trial so far. He announces that only 10 people out of everyone present will make it in. This translates to a terrifying 80% elimination rate. One of the pink-eye girls starts panicking, realizing that if they barely cleared the first test, this next one might genuinely be a wrap for them. Then the same cocky student from another school jumps in and mocks them, saying pink eye kids should just save themselves the trouble and go home. Meanwhile, the tall, muscular guy, Tan Yang, from that rival team casually asks his partner Sun Yi who else she thinks might actually pass. Chilling, she spots Le Peng and mutters that he seems strong. While she's busy observing, she also notices something off about Lin Zi. Her teammate notices her worry and asks about it, but she just brushes it off, pointing at Lin Zi that he feels a bit sturdy. The guy laughs it away, confident that there's no way anyone from Pinghai is even close to their level. Later, the instructor steps back up and tells everyone the plan that they will be checking into the academy's dorm hotel to rest up before the actual entrance exams begin. He adds the most crucial detail, announcing that during the test period the cafeteria food is free and outstanding, which immediately draws cheers from the students. Inside the dining hall, Guan selects a table and instructs her brother to sit there. Meanwhile, at another table, two guys notice her walking by and start gooning over her. Meanwhile, Guan is fully in big sister mode, handing Lin Zi a drumstick with a big smile and telling him to eat up. Lin Zi is already drowning in food but laughs nervously, trying to insist he is full. Xiaoyan and Xian then pull up with their plates, teasing Guan for hoarding food as if she is running a private buffet. They continue to joke that she and her brother act like a full couple, causing Guan to instantly turn bright red. At another table, those envious students nearly drop their chopsticks when they spot Lin Zi surrounded by even more girls than before. He fumes, saying it is wild how Lin Zi constantly draws attention like it is a passive skill, while his salty friend insists he is the better-looking one. Then, a big friendly guy unexpectedly walks up to Guan's squad, asking if he can join them. Guan gives him a silent side-eye but does not object. He drops his tray, sits next to Lin Zi, and introduces himself as Zhou from Chimping High, wearing a distinct, nice guy smile. Lin Zi glances sideways, clearly curious about this newcomer's agenda. While munching, Zhou brings up rumors about a Pinghai high schooler who supposedly cleared a cracked difficulty level, wondering if that mystery player made it to the academy. Xian and the girls immediately catch on, calling him out for fishing for information before the exams have even started. Zhou panics, waving off the accusation and claiming he is not that good, just wanting to make friends. Guan quickly shuts him down, stating they have nothing to share and he can leave. Trying to save face, Zhou laughs awkwardly and says it is fine. He already knows who the heavy hitters are anyway. He nods toward a silver-haired guy walking in with three girls and names him Le Peng from Chimping High. According to the fatty, this guy is a prodigy who cleared a high-tier trial and possesses a Tier 3 venom plant beast. That boast alone stuns Guan's group, as most of them are still using Tier 1 pets. Zhou keeps the information flowing, adding that his family is wealthy and has ample resources, which explains his beast's crazy evolution speed. Guan sits there contemplating the difference, realizing her own bird is still only at Tier 2 Stage 7. Zhou then points out another top contender, the pink twin-tailed girl named Guoxini from Kangsha City. She has a menace to society reputation but apparently passed a brutal test just a month after contracting her first pet, a steel-patterned baby dragon already sitting at Tier 2 Stage 8. The girls are completely floored, wondering how anyone could level up so quickly, with one of them guessing Shini must have bonded with an already powerful dragon. Just then, Shini looks at our boy and winks, similar to an idol's introductory move, which leaves Lin Zi momentarily blanked out by the sudden cuteness. Zhu is not finished, adding that another top competitor from Kangwu City, Tang Yang, is working with a rare dual-element pet. That revelation shocks the entire table, because a dual-attribute pet is simply an unfair advantage. Gwen explains that their teacher once mentioned that those rare dual-type beasts are real, but typically live in death zones where no sane tamer would dare to go, making them virtually impossible to capture. Lin Zi, meanwhile, is fully engrossed in thought, remembering that his rock ghost is both a ghost and rock type. He is already planning how powerful it would be to raise a beast like that. Zhou wraps up his information dump and tries one last time, asking the squad directly if they know the identity of the person who passed that extremely difficult trial. The pink-haired girl is ready to reveal the secret, but before she can point fingers, Lin Zi casually interrupts mid-bite, saying the person is not present today. The squad immediately understands what it means and they go along with the deception. Lin Zi then straight up dismisses Zhou, essentially telling him he is not needed and that they are not close friends. The double Mac takes the hint, offers an awkward smile and leaves. However, he is internally convinced they are concealing something, plotting and thinking that one of them must be the mysterious player who cleared the hardest level. As he walks past another table, a group of 3 students notice Lin Zi's squad. Once things calm down, Zhou turns to Lin Zi and asks why he did not just admit the truth, calling the achievement a major flex. Lin Zi remains calm, wiping his mouth and stating it is better to stay low-key for now as he is not even certain the other guy's information is accurate. Guan just smiles, clearly approving of his strategic thinking. After eating, the group walks out of the cafeteria. Guan suggests to Xiao and Xian that they should get some training in later so they do not fall behind the other schools, and the girls immediately agree. She then casually invites Lin Zi to join them later. The boy freezes for a moment and starts mind-gooning over them. As Guan walks past the silver-haired guy, he suddenly slaps her cake, smugly suggesting she visit their room later. Hearing that, Guan loses it and swings at him, but the guy quickly catches her hand. The creep just laughs it off, saying he actually enjoys it as his friends erupt in laughter. That is when Lindsay's demeanor changes drastically. A dark, heavy aura fills the area as he glares directly at the guy, ordering him to let go with no further warnings. Guan quickly attempts to calm the situation, reminding Lindsay that starting a fight here means immediate punishment. But the silver-haired freak continues to taunt them. He insults their school and dismisses the boys as weak. Out of nowhere, in a flash, Lindsay punches the crap out of the guy, sending him flying across the room. The creep hits the floor, knocked out cold, while his friends jump up, ready to fight. But our boy stands there like a final boss, his aura flaring, his eyes intensely focused. He tells them they can talk trash about him all they want, but if they disrespect Guan again, they will face serious consequences. The two friends freeze, realizing their friend is now face down on the floor. Lindsay, still radiating fury, states he will not let that insult slide after everything that has happened. The silver-haired guy, humiliated and enraged, tries to stand and challenges Lindsay to an immediate fight, only for Lepeng to suddenly grab his arm and stop him. He acts as the voice of reason, telling the silver-haired student to calm down and not cause a scene that will embarrass their squad. He even compliments Lindsay's punch and suggests both sides should call it even. However, Lindsay is not agreeing. He makes it clear the issue is not resolved. Lepeng, unfazed, helps his teammate up and tells Lindsay that the aggressive student will be punished back home. But if Lindsay still has an issue, he can address it directly with him. The two lock eyes and the air around them crackles with tension like a boss fight intro. After the tension subsides, Guan gently pulls on Lindsay's sleeve, urging him to leave before the situation escalates. He hesitates for a moment, then nods, becoming instantly calm. As they walk away, Lindsay casually suggests their next move should be preparing for the upcoming exam. Behind him, Zhao cheers, calling him cool as the squad exits. Meanwhile, Lepeng watches them go with a smirk, realizing his initial hunch was correct. Lindsay is the one he needs to watch out for. Later that night, steam fills the bathroom in the fancy dorms as Guan, Zhao, and Xian are all crammed into the tub together. Guan is clearly annoyed, giving them a side-eye and asking why they had to barge in. Zhao grins mischievously, calling it their thank you for the training session. Xian happily shares that their pet beasts have finally reached Tier 2, meaning they are now ready for real battles. The girls excitedly offer Guan a massage as thanks, but it quickly descends into chaos. The next morning, students line up in a massive hall facing a glowing red portal. The instructor steps forward, announcing he has good news, but then immediately roasts them by calling this batch the lowest scores he has ever seen. The room goes silent before Shan shouts in embarrassment and disbelief. Behind her, some students start bickering, blaming each other for dragging down the average. The instructor then explains that the entrance test will be held inside an illusion realm created by the Origin Stone Monument, known as the Secret Forest, a glowing wilderness filled with traps and deadly beasts. He then lays out the rules that everyone will receive a point tracker, and scores will increase based on the beasts they defeat. Level 1 beasts are worth 10 points, Level 2s earn 20, and Level 3s grant 40 points. He warns them that the forest is dangerous. If their pet or they themselves are taken out, it is an instant disqualification. At the forest center, a ranking monument will display the top 10 players and their locations, essentially painting a giant target on their backs. As the harsh reality sinks in, half the room starts panicking, realizing this exam is going to be pure chaos. The crowd grows jumpy when the instructor raises a concern about the level 3 beasts lurking out there, predicting they will be instantly defeated if they encounter one. He continues with his announcement stating the exam will last 4 hours, and in the end, only the top 10 scorers will be accepted. Then unexpectedly, Lepeng asks directly if hunting beast is the only way to accumulate points. The instructor grins as if he was waiting for that question and drops that taking down other participants is perfectly acceptable, and if they succeed, they snatch all their points. The room explodes in noise, everyone yells, calling the rule messed up and predicting it will turn everyone into backstabbers. Game theory at its finest. While the room is yelling, one student is already cracking his knuckles like he has been ready to fight from day one. Amidst all the noise, Xinyu remains unbothered, blowing her gum as if she is watching a minor drama unfold. The instructor eventually silences everyone, declaring that this is what a real battlefield looks like and that no crying is permitted. He tells them they can still back out if they are too scared, but the ultimate winner will walk away with the title of freshman leader and some significant perks. After saying that, the instructor narrows his eyes, studying the students to see who's truly prepared. His gaze lingers on the strongest among them, including Lindsay and Guan. On the other hand, Guan's main goal is simply to find Lindsay inside the forest. Even if she does not make the top 10, she wants to support him. Before entering, Lindsay instructs Guan to use her fierce magic bird's flight to track him down once they are inside. She nods, locked in and ready. Just then, the instructor gives the final command, and a red flash floods the hall as everyone is teleported into the illusion realm. Inside the forest, Lindsay spawns in first. He is calm, immediately scanning the area as if mapping out a speedrun. A glowing red monument catches his eye, the ranking stone. His wrist tracker flashes 0 points and the timer is ticking. He quickly deduces the rule that players can only see their own scores, not others, which means everyone will eventually have to head to the central stone, effectively turning it into a war zone. The pillar shows the top 10, but only if a player actively updates it, otherwise their location is still vulnerable. Lindsay realizes this exam is not just about monsters, it is a full player versus player free-for-all, where power dictates the rules. He reminds himself it is just a game and summons his spirit beasts ready for action. Then a sudden whistling sound cuts through the air as 2 snakes emerge from the nearby bushes. The twin-headed snakes lunge at him, but a glowing barrier instantly appears in front of him. Lindsay, however, stays calm, barely blinking as his barrier only consumes a small amount of spirit power, so he keeps it running on standby. The rock ghost suddenly appears like a boss summon and Lindsay decides to let it handle the situation. He wants to see how his beast performs without him using his full power yet. It is time to test the dual attribute setup. The rock ghost stares down the retreating 2-headed snake, scaring it off instantly. Lindsay orders it to stand down since low-tier beasts are not worth the effort. The rock ghost cracks its fists anyway, clearly eager to find a tougher opponent. While maintaining his composure, Lindsay quietly worries about whether Guan can find him easily. Meanwhile, Guan is already making progress. She is standing over a defeated centipede with 30 points on her watch and 3 hours and 45 minutes left on the clock. She exhales in relief as she signals her flame bird and sends it flying ahead toward the red stone pillar. Clutching her fist, she scans the forest, hoping Lindsay is doing well. From the sky, her flame bird scopes out the chaos below where students are fighting random beasts, one student being chased by a cursed flying frog, and a pack of strange monkey creatures cheering like they just survived a boss fight. The flame bird eventually returns since it cannot wander too far, and Guan figures her best option is to head directly toward the ranking monument. She is betting Lindsay is strong enough to make the top 10, so that is where she will find him. As she is in thoughts, a yellow ostrich charges at her from behind. The girl is, however, quick and dodges it by jumping up in the air and throwing it to the ground. Just then, her flame bird also dives from above, burning through the rank 2 stage 5 ostrich like a missile. But before the body even hits the ground, a boomerang slices in and steals the final hit. Guan is stunned. She looks up to see a muscular beast man, Odo Barbarian, catching the weapon midair. His tamer stands behind him, grinning as if ready to start a fight. Guan accuses him of kill-stealing, but the guy merely smirks, reminding her there are no rules against it. He snaps his fingers and Odo charges, leaping with immense power to crush her flame bird. Guan yells for her bird to dodge, but another boomerang slices through the air, aimed straight at her, hitting hard and knocking her to the ground. Before she can recover, the guy grabs her from behind, grinning like a creep. He brags that humanoid beasts like his barely need commands as they move on their own. Odo also snatches Guan's flame bird midair, completely immobilizing it, while the tamer taunts her, savoring his victory. Back on Lindsay's side, his wrist tracker flashes 40 points with 3 hours and 28 minutes remaining. The rock ghost casually finishes another beast and tosses the corpse aside, operating as if it is business as usual. Lindsay strolls through the forest with complete calm, checking his wrist tracker when strange noises echo from up ahead. Out pops a chunky creature called a big mouth monster, essentially a walking cheeks with legs being led by the same fat guy Zhu. The tamer spots Lindsay and instantly smirks, thinking he is about to secure some free points. But then, looking closer, he recognizes Lindsay from the cafeteria. Our boy plays it cool, realizing the guy clearly has no idea who he is dealing with. The rock ghost stands behind him like a statue, drawing Zou's attention since he has never seen a beast like that before. Watching from the sidelines, Zou assumes this cannot possibly be Lindsay from the advanced trial. Wrong element, wrong vibe, no way. Lindsay offers a humble smile and claims his pet is nothing special, just a D rank that is leveled up twice. Zhu puffs his chest and shows off his own rare unit, a mutated beast sitting pretty at level 2, stage 7. The guy begins to talk big, offering to let Lindsay tag along so they can accumulate points together, essentially promising a shortcut to the top 10. Lindsay looks excited, believing he has finally found a reliable teammate, but Zhu is already plotting. His scheme is to use Lindsay's strength, exploit it for all it is worth, and then backstab him the moment it is convenient. A classic villain move. Meanwhile, Guan is done playing games. She grabs the guy who ambushed her earlier, cleanly flips him over her shoulder, and slams him straight into the dirt. The attacker is stunned, spitting curses until Guan steps closer and reminds him that her brother went easy last time. But this time she is not holding back. She calls out Demon Eyes, and suddenly pink and black flames explode around her beast. From this inferno of pink and black flames, her flame bird rises, which is now rocking demonic horns, glowing eyes, and smoke curling off its feathers as if it just respawned from hell. The bird dives down with the pink flames blazing, and Oda the beast man immediately panics. He runs away while his tamer screams for him to come back. Standing on top of her opponent, Guan laughs it off, pointing out how having a free-thinking pet is not always a victory. The guy on the ground tries to maintain a smug grin, but before he can finish his last word, Guan silences him with one clean hit that sends him flying. Her wrist tracker updates to 70 points, placing her 4th on the leaderboard. The instructor watching the feed does a double take, realizing Li Peng has already broken 100 points in under an hour. The screen shows him in front of a massive spotted tiger beast, which is a stage 3 level 1 creature looking ready to maul something. But Li Peng's poison ivy demon shows up as well, a plant-type monster that screams, "Don't mess with me." The tiger charges at full speed, but the ivy demon launches its tendrils, skewering the tiger mid-air and slamming it into the dirt like it weighs nothing. The tiger thrashes, but the vines keep wrapping tighter until it finally collapses. Li Peng watches it all completely unfazed, telling his beast to stop goofing around and get ready for the next hunt. The tiger's eyes go wide in disbelief, realizing this man's pet is seriously built differently. The poison vine demon goes into full savage mode, blasting green vines straight through the tiger's body as if it were nothing. Blood splatters everywhere, and the beast stands there mangled while the ivy retract, twitching with that creepy energy. The tiger hits the ground, completely finished. Li Peng checks his wristband, and he is now sitting at 210 points, looking far too smug about it. He declares himself the ruler of this new generation, exhibiting straight-up king behavior. Off in the distance, he spots the glowing red monument, the ranking stone. The leaderboard pops up, showing Li Peng chilling at the top with 210 points. Genie is in second place, with the rest trailing behind. With 2 hours and 39 minutes left, the girl worries, realizing Tanyang is sitting at 0 points on purpose, seemingly feeding her all the points. She cannot tell if he is loyal or simply playing the long game. She casually asks who they should target next. He scans the board and decides it is too early to mess with Li Peng, the current top player. Liu Gang is from their own school, but his eyes lock onto Guan, who is ranked 4th. Hearing that Jinji mentions some guy named Lin Zi, a supposed genius, but his name is missing from the board. She scoffs, thinking most people probably cheated their way up the ranks. Putting focus back on hunting, they decides to go north to search and hunt Guan. Meanwhile, Guan is calmly calculating her next move while her flame bird lands beside her. The bird brings the info that there are 2 beasts around, a windcutter mantis to the left and a man-eating flower to the right. She is weighing her options, wondering where Lindsay has been hiding. Meanwhile, Lindsay casually strolling through the woods with his beasts and zoo. They bump into a new enemy, a withered plant beast tier 2, level 4. Zhao is ready to plot, telling Lindsay to take the lead, already planning to swoop in and steal the kill later. But before he even gets the chance, Lindsay's rock beast steps up and absolutely deletes the monster in one hit. Zhao just stands there stunned, realizing he never even got to touch it. The screen flashes, 2 hours and 20 minutes left, the leaderboard updates again, and boom, Lindsay is now sitting in 9th place with 120 points, climbing from rank 33 in record time. The instructor watching the feed is clearly shocked. He remembers the rumors that Lindsay supposedly cleared the highest difficulty trial. However, his doubts quickly fade when he notices the fatty beside him. Realizing Lindsay is working with someone, back in the forest, Joe is absolutely furious, gritting his teeth and convinced that Lindsay is getting too cocky. He swears he will take Lindsay down in the next fight to steal all his points. But before he can even start plotting, a warning flashes across the screen. A dangerous rare beast just spawned nearby. Lindsay checks the alert and of course sees this as an excellent chance to stack even more points. Then, from the bushes, a golden glow flickers, followed by some serious rustling. The squad stops and spots a massive golden tree, which makes everyone freeze. Joe exclaims that it is a golden tree, which is super rare, thinking it must be some bonus event or reward zone. Before anyone can yell loot drop, 2 thick golden roots shoot out of the ground and snatch the fatso midair. Lindsay immediately backs up, caught off guard. The guy is now dangling upside down, wrapped up like a burrito and being dragged toward the tree. The bark begins to morph into a skull-faced monster with too many arms. The system tags it as a withered golden beast. A plant type, stage 9 elite. Ju's face falls as he knows that the beast is far too powerful for him. He yells for his pet, Big Mouth, but it is grabbed too, instantly folded by another vine. Zhu is now just hanging there, realizing the tree is not just holding him, it is draining his energy like it is sipping a drink. Panicked, he screams for Lindsay's help. Lindsay remains cool as ice. He reminds the guy that they agreed to handle 1 beast each, and casually steps back with Rock Beast as if the situation is not his problem. Zhao freaks out, yelling that this is not the time to be selfish. Lindsay simply waves him off, saying he believes in him, and keeps walking. The golden root tightens, the fatty screams for mercy, and finally Lindsay stops, pretending he might help, but only if there is something in it for him. Juves is losing it, internally calling Lindsay every name in the book, but he has no choice. He offers to spill some high-level secrets about other players. That gets Lindsay's attention and he turns back for the talk. Ju blurts out everything from Li Peng's exclusive soul skills to Shinji's hidden techniques. Lindsay listens, processing the information and comparing it to Rhoda's enhancement methods. Then he finally gives the order. With this, Rock Beast steps up, ready to fight. Lindsay orders it to hit the beast's abdomen with a crushing strike. The ground shakes as Rock Beast charges in, its eyes glowing red. The golden tree reacts quickly, slamming the ground and launching a storm of golden vines in defense. Rock Beast, however, dodges through the chaos, closing the gap like a determined tank. As Rock Beast gets close, a massive golden limb grabs him and yeets him away. Within seconds, Rock Beast is wrapped up tighter than my month-end budget, suspended midair by a mess of golden vines. From the back, Lindsay watches the chaos, realizing his level 2 Rock Beast is struggling against this stage 3 golden beast. The power difference is clearly real. Seeing his beast trapped, Lindsay thinks about summoning his secret weapon, Snow Girl. But something unexpected happens first. Even while tightly wrapped, the Rock Beast's eyes begin glowing brightly. Lindsay is instantly alarmed, yelling its name as the energy spikes intensely. The golden beast notices the power up and panics, tightening the vines, wrapping the Rock Beast into a giant green cocoon. The beast is fully committed, attempting to crush it before it can break free. Seeing the beast's state, the fatty starts losing it, realizing he might be completely drained. Meanwhile, the timer keeps ticking, showing 1 hour and 54 seconds left, with 27 participants still in the trial. In the observation room, the instructor watches intently, curious to see Lindsay's plan for this high-difficulty challenge. The golden beast raises its tendrils again, but the entire area suddenly shifts. Dark purple energy begins swirling, turning into a full-on vortex. Lindsay stares in shock as the Rock Beast reappears, completely transformed. It is now humanoid, glowing blue and dripping with ghostly energy. The system drops a pop-up that is his new skill, Ghost Spirit Form, with 30-second duration. Jito, still hanging upside down, can only stare as his brain is completely short-circuiting, trying to process what he is seeing. The golden beast roars and launches another attack, flinging its golden tendrils everywhere. But the new Rock Beast simply phases through everything as if it is made of smoke. Lindsay catches on fast, realizing his beast has gone into full ghost mode. With no physical body, it takes no damage and cannot be controlled. It is untouchable. Checking the system menu, Lindsay sees that while the crushing impact skill is disabled, Bullet Throw and Earth Spike are still usable. He smirks and gives the order to the Rock Beast to aim straight for the golden guy's eyes and abdomen and go for maximum damage. The Rock Beast, now in its Ghost Spirit form, charges up its attack. A blue aura flares around its hands as it fires off bullet throws with pinpoint accuracy. The shots smack the golden beast directly, making the thing screech and stumble as if hit by a truck. The beast is twisted up in pain, while Zoe is thrown to the ground like an unlucky NPC. Lindsay stays calm but calculates the problem. The level gap is huge and the hits are not doing enough damage. The fatty panics and yells for his pet Big Mouth to escape. Big Mouth zooms off instantly, bouncing through the chaos with Joe desperately clinging on. The backstabber is not even angry about the beating, just worried that if Lindsay dies, all those valuable points will vanish. From a distance, Lindsay watches them dart out of the arena. Just then, the golden beast starts wildly firing golden tendrils everywhere. Lindsay does not flinch. He calls out Snowball as if summoning his ace card. She appears beside him, flooding the area with icy blue energy. Cyclones of frost begin spinning up, turning the battlefield into a full-blown snowstorm. The ant beast screeches, clearly not built for cold weather. Then the Rock Beast, back in its armored red form, receives the signal. It revs up the crushing impact skill and rockets forward, done taking losses. The hit lands dead on, and the beast takes a face full of destruction. The ground shakes from the energy blast, and Snowball is already preparing her next move. Her eyes glowing pink as she unleashes another blizzard-level freeze. The Rock Beast bursts through the ice like a boss and smashes into the golden beast again. Lindsay also steps up with his fist clenched and ready to finish the fight. He swings and his punch lands in perfect sync with the beast's strike. The golden ant explodes with energy and finally collapses, totally defeated. The system chimes in, announcing that the golden beast is terminated. The Rock Beast evolves to Stage 3 and unlocks an upgraded Ghost Spirit form. This form can copy Lindsay's moves for 10 seconds, but it costs 100 achievement points. Lindsay checks his reward panel, grinning like a man who just pulled a 5-star drop. The power just doubled, and the beast even leveled mid-fight, securing a huge win. Final stats are 180 points on deck, with 1 hour and 20 minutes left. Back at HQ, the instructor watches the replay, acknowledging that Lindsay is performing exceptionally well. He notes that Snowball's frost magic was certified clutch and essential to the victory. Meanwhile, the fatty's brain is spinning as he stares at Snowball, thinking there is no way this cute ice mommy just soloed the golden beast. He correctly guesses that she is some rare mythical unit with busted potential, and he is trying desperately to figure out how Lindsay managed to tame something like that. Lindsay freezes for a second and mentally facepalms because he totally forgot to unsummon Snowball. There goes his low-profile act. Joa starts spiraling into full detective mode, analyzing Snowball as if he is in a Pokemon lab. He rambles that she is an ice-type humanoid beast and starts panicking that if she is someone's pet, her master must be an absolute menace. The truth then hits him that what if that master is Lindsay? He realizes that if that is true, they are in serious trouble. Lindsay just stands there sighing internally as Zhuo's wild imagination keeps speed running through every wrong conclusion possible. Then, out of nowhere, the system flashes a warning of fake summon attacking. Snowball turns toward them, head tilted and looking confused as question marks literally float above her head. Zhu freaks out again, stammering that she is staring right at them. Lindsay gives a calm nod, but it is too late because Snowball is already charging up. She fires a blizzard of icicles from the sky, raining destruction easily. Zhou panics hard, realizing this might actually be his last moment. He immediately makes the scummiest play possible. He grabs Big Mouth and tries to use his own pet as a meat shield, yelling something about protection. Big Mouth just stands there in total confusion. Before things can escalate into a complete disaster, Snowball casually says she is fine and poofs herself back into the summoning space. The rock beast retreats too, while Zhu collapses against Big Mouth, sweaty and shaking, but is already smirking as if he planned it all. He genuinely believes he managed to clutch the situation. Then the fatty turns and freezes. Lindsay casually rises from inside Big Mouth, completely unharmed and glowing with a shield. He calmly asks if it is safe to come out now, acting like he just woke up from a chill nap. Zhu, or however the F you pronounce this guy's name, instantly panics again, yelling at Big Mouth not to release him because there might still be danger behind them. Inside though, the fatty is losing it because Lindsay should have been digested by now, yet here he is, vibing like nothing happened. Just then, Big Mouth starts gagging like it bit into something cursed, then straight up yeets Lindsay onto the grass. Zhu just stands there, his brain buffering as he tries to process how this guy survived a full digestion attempt. Lindsay casually dusts off his jacket, all calm and composed, and drops a line about how Big Mouth just could not digest someone built differently. He also assures that it was all teamwork, saying they totally could have handled that monster together. But deep down, the fatty is sweating, realizing this quiet guy might actually be terrifying. Lindsay confirms the coast is clear, then asks about that exclusive spirit technique Zhu mentioned earlier. The fatty stalls, saying they should head to the stone monument first to check the rankings and promises to spill the tea on the way. As they walk, he explains that exclusive spirit techniques are basically rare, one-of-one powers awakened only by top-tier beast tamers. They are different for each person. They cannot be copied and cannot be taught. Lindsay listens, curious, asking what kind of busted abilities the other big names, Cindy and Lepeng, have in their arsenals. When they finally reach the massive red stone monument, Zhou sprints up to it. The rankings light up, revealing Lepeng at 370, Cindy at 340, Tanyang 250, and others below them. The remaining time is less than an hour. Zhu scans the board, does not see his name, and lets out a dramatic sigh. But then he hypes himself up, thinking if he can snag some of Lindsay's points, he might actually sneak into the top 10. Lindsay steps up beside him and both stare at the board. Then Lindsay raises his wrist and shocks the fatty, revealing that he got 180 points. Zhu jumps back, yelling that the quiet guy has been sitting in 5th place this whole time. The leaderboard updates, locking Lindsay's name in 5th. Zhu collapses beside the monument, shaking and stammering out his name like he has seen a ghost. Lindsay drops it cool and clean, introducing himself as Lindsay. That is the breaking point. Zhu completely loses it, yelling that this guy has been acting weak on purpose while secretly farming points like a boss. Lindsay, however, stays chill, reminding him that without his help, he would have been golden beast food already. He demands the information he was promised, but the fatty snaps. His fake grin vanishes, rage takes over, and he screams that Lindsay is not getting anything. He then fully betrays him, ordering Big Mouth to eat Lindsay again. Lindsay does not even flinch. Instantly, his squad spawns in. Snowball and the Rock Guardian hit the field like it is boss fight time. Snowball is clearly not playing around. With one cast, Big Mouth is instantly iced up like a discount popsicle. Meanwhile, Zhu just stands there freaking out as his top-tier pet turns into frozen decor. He drops to his knees, trembling, while Lindsay rolls up with his squad, looking way too composed for the chaos he just caused. Our boy steps in smooth, basically saying his score might not look wild, but it's worth a whole rare 3rd-rank beast, aka he's cashing in regardless. Zhu, shaking, starts begging for mercy, saying he'll spill everything if Lindsay just chills out. But nah, our guy flips the switch mid-sentence and says he's over it, doesn't care about anyone's fancy spirit techniques anymore. Dude's evolved past that point. Fatty's brain starts buffering, trying to make sense of the situation, but Lindsay just hits him with the "y'all ain't even close to my level" energy. Just then, our boy yells for Snowgirl to attack, but before they can even blink, a flash zips through the air and hits the fatty in the guts. The attackers turn out to be Poison Ivy Beast with Lepeng behind it. He has been waiting for this showdown and is grinning like a psycho. Zhou tries to warn him, saying Lindsay is cracked and has that ice pet that does not miss. Meanwhile, our boy just stares at him ready to finish this. Lupeng calls off his pet for a second, saying he has this handled. Hearing that, the fatty laughs even though he is basically dying, bragging that all his points just got transferred to his boss. The poison ivy smirks, fades out into smoke, and the whole area becomes fogged up. Then the leaderboard lights up. Lipeng jumps to the top with a fat 430 points while Lindsay is still chilling in 5th. The boss man steps up and says he wants Lindsay to go full power so they can see who is truly built differently. But Lindsay is not into the ego games and reveals that he does not even want the title. Lipeng takes that as surrender and starts laughing like a maniac, calling him weak. Then he starts ranting about how he is going to wipe out all the other top players. Jinyi, Tanjiang, Lu Gang, Guan, the whole squad. The guy is actually enjoying it, straight up saying destroying people gives him a rush. Suddenly our boy realizes Guan is nearby and might be the guy's next victim. Without wasting a beat, our boy bolts east to save her. Lipeng laughs and orders his poison ivy to cut him off. The beast leaps through the air, slinging chains and locking Lindsay mid-run. He is tangled up and cannot move while Lipeng stands there talking trash, calling him overrated and telling his pet to drain every last drop of energy he has. Lindsay has clearly had enough of this nonsense. He is gritting his teeth and his power is flaring up like he is about to go Super Saiyan. Meanwhile, Lipeng is still running his mouth, totally oblivious that the Ice Queen is creeping up behind him. By the time he finally turns around, the fight is over. The Ice Queen drops a powerful burst of frost magic and freezes the man solid. As the poison ivy tries to save his boss, the queen also turns him into the ice statue with the rock beast following up, smashing the frozen poison ivy statue to bits. Lindsay leans in slightly and tells her he already gave the word. Then the trio dip out casually, leaving what is left of Lipeng's squad in the snow. The poison ivy is still twitching on the ground, half frozen and half alive. That is when a new dude pulls up, Lu Gang, grinning like he just found free loot. He checks the scene and immediately starts cooking up a plan, calling it poetic that the hunters just became the hunted. Raising his hand, he claims Lipeng's points for himself and summons his iron-armored dragon, a rank 2 stage 9 beast, to handle the cleanup. The dragon smashes the ice statue with one clean hit, and Lu Gang is all smug, thinking he has just secured first place. But when he checks his wrist, the scoreboard is not moving. He got 0 new points. Then before he can even react, something shoots forward and skewers him. It's Lipeng who steps out of the fog completely calm, explaining that there is no harm revealing secrets to someone who is already defeated. Turns out this man's got a busted ability called mimicry synchronization, and as his face starts shifting into something monstrous, Lu Gang realizes he's in serious trouble. He tries calling for his dragon, but nah. The vine beast already got it locked up tight. The iron-armored dragon struggles for a second before getting crushed, a puff of smoke marking its defeat. On the other hand, Lindsay with his pet squad is rushing to help his sister and immediately notices the chaos below. He spots Guan in danger, and that is it. Rage mode is activated. On the ground, Guan is trapped in a glowing water prison surrounded by beasts and 2 other players, Xinyi and Tanyang. A small horned white dragon pops up on screen with a label. Steel-scaled dragon, stage 2, level 8, dragon type. Guan is fighting to break free but cannot move an inch. Tanyang stands there cold as ice, saying it is pointless to resist since no one escapes his spirit master's water spell. Behind him, his ghostly water beast floats menacingly. Rank 2 spirit master, ghost water type. He tells Yeji she can finish Guan off herself, saying that beating her might just secure the top freshman spot. The girl gives a sly smile and teases him, asking if he is hesitating because Guan is too cute to crush. Tanyang stays quiet at first, arms crossed, then finally says he is not interested in anyone else, basically confirming he is focused entirely on Xinyi. He definitely has priorities, even in battle. Guan is still stuck in that water spell and Xinyi is about to land the finishing blow, when Tanyang suddenly catches what is happening and scrambles to throw up a water shield, blocking just in time as waves explode around them. Snowball crashes down with a bang, purple smoke rising while Lindsay strolls in slowly and calmly with his rock beast, and Snowball right behind him. He is radiating main character energy as he demands they drop the water prison and release Guan. Both Xinyi and Tanyang freeze when they realize this guy is rolling with 2 beasts. Inside the bubble, Guan is just as shocked but quickly gets serious, warning her brother that these 2 are no joke. Lindsay tells her to hang tight because he is here to get her out. Tanyang narrows his eyes, clearly intrigued, and asks if this is the same guy who cleared the impossible challenge and pulled legendary tier pets. Hearing that, Shinji grins and says it all makes sense now because Lindsay's vibe always felt different. Tanyang cracks his knuckles, claiming he will test that strength himself. Shinji, however, warns him to be careful since this guy is clearly built differently. Ignoring it, Tanyang charges in, flexing his confidence, and even throws a deal on the table. If he wins, Jinyi gets the points, and if he loses, she can have his instead. His ghost beast rises and fills the arena with blue energy, trying to lock Lindsay down, but our boy is not folding. He channels a surge of yellow power and drops his spirit technique Soul Force Impact, blasting straight through Tanyang's defense like it is paper. Tanyang's eyes go wide and sweat is dripping as he realizes Lindsay's power is way beyond what he expected. Before he can even react, the rock beast leaps in and lands a clean punch to his chest, sending him stumbling back. Tanyang fights back fast, summoning a massive water pillar that yeets the rock beast into the air and traps it in a swirling orb of water. He orders his squad to focus on capturing the beast first, trying to flip the fight. Lindsay just watches, calm as ever, and then flips the switch to Ghost Spirit mode. His beast body fades into dark energy as his spirit form launches upward, breaking through the water trap like it is nothing. He comes crashing down, purple energy exploding from the ground while earth spikes rip through the arena. The entire area floods with dark aura as his ghost beast transforms into a shadow figure and unleashes a wave of ghost energy. Tanyang actually starts laughing, yapping that his own beast is ghost type 2, meaning he is immune to physical attacks. The guy thinks he is winning until Shinyi suddenly yells for him to look behind. He turns too slowly and a ghostly figure slams into him, sending him flying. The system reveals the play, Ghost Spirit Clone. Lindsay had baited him and landed the perfect counter. Tanyang crashes to the ground hard while Lindsay just watches, saying the guy is not nearly as immune as he thought. Desperate, Tanyang grits his teeth and triggers one last move, Death Spirit Seal, trying to lock down Lindsay's ghost powers before he gets completely defeated. A massive surge of energy blasts from Tanyang's hand as his sealing technique goes off, gunning straight for Lindsay's clone like he is trying to delete it from existence. Lindsay quickly clocks what is happening, realizing his ghost form is about to get hard countered by necro magic. So he tells his beast to revert before it gets cooked. Tanyang laughs like he just won the lottery, watching Lindsay's clone vanish into thin air. He starts insulting the guy, saying the genius hype was just talk. But our boy does not flinch. He lifts his hand, hits the glow-up switch, and says it is time they see what real power looks like. In a flash of blinding light, Lindsay rockets into the sky, his energy going absolutely nuclear. Seeing that, Yuji's jaw drops as she cannot even move, just watching that power spike. Tanyang's fists also tighten as it hits him that they are way out of their league. Meanwhile, Yuji's brain starts screaming L, realizing this power gap is terrifying. She panics and calls for everyone to chill, waving her hands like, hold up, hold up. Lindsay stays calm, basically asking if she is serious about peace talks now. The girl explains that most of them already made the top 10, so there is no point in fighting. Plus, they will all be classmates soon, so there is no need for drama. Lindsay gives a silent nod and orders Snowball to stand down. Then Zinni yells at Tanyang to drop the water prison and let Guan go. Tanyang hesitates, but logic hits, keeping her trapped could easily backfire. With a sigh, he breaks the spell, and the water sphere explodes as Guan drops free, gasping for air. She runs straight into Lindsay's arms, thanking him like the hero he is. He just smiles and assures her that as long as he is around, no one is touching her. Then he gets serious again, saying their performance did not exactly impress him. That hits Tanyang's ego hard. His eyes glow red as he screams he will never forgive Lindsay and charges back in. Before it gets messy, Jeannie raises her hand, stunning everyone. She claims she has a plan, a way to awaken someone's unique spirit skill. Lindsay listens, clearly intrigued, and admits it might just work. Tanyang loses it, shouting that she should not help that annoying brat. But Jeannie ignores him and steps forward. Power flares, her confidence on full display, as she calls out Lindsay's name and prepares to activate her special ability. Out of nowhere, a voice cuts through the chaos and a hand shoots up, signaling participation. Everyone turns as Lipeng strolls in from the distance, absolutely radiating power. Noticing him, Tanyang grits his teeth, completely frustrated with life, calling this new headache annoying as hell. Meanwhile, Eugenie is already cooking up a strategy, telling Lindsay and the squad that if they team up, they might actually defeat Lipeng and snag the #1 spot. But Lindsay feels the air shift. Everything is spiraling, and it is clear no one is controlling this mess anymore. A countdown pops up, 10 seconds left on the clock. Somewhere behind the scenes, the instructor watches through the crystal feed, sighing like a tired dad. He mutters about wanting to keep these prodigies alive, but knows they are about to eliminate each other from the leaderboard. He orders his team to move, giving them 10 minutes to calm everyone down before it all implodes.